am here to film a book review, and that is for A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget, and I never get her name right. How do you actually say it? But is it Chimera? Like, this feels like it should be something easy to say, but I can never say it. But I'm excited to do a book review, so this is my second of the year. I don't know why I'm gonna just like keep counting off the amount of book reviews that I do, but I used to do so many and now I hardly do any, and like they are my most popular videos on my channel. Not that I have to keep making book reviews, but I guess people like hearing me talk about them. I don't know, that's a bit weird of a concept to me, but honestly I am excited to talk about this book, and I wasn't going to, but then I had to. I had things to say about this book because like it's a 4-star read, but I'm just annoyed. Like I can be annoyed but still like this book for what it is if I don't think about the previous book, you know? Like that book doesn't exist anymore basically, it feels like, with like what this was, because it wasn't the direction I thought it was gonna go in, and I'm annoyed. And I don't really plan on speaking like too many spoilers, but I'm probably gonna say something that will offend someone, so I'd probably only go into this review really if you have actually read the book. I wrote my thoughts down and I really didn't go into detail about stuff that actually does happen, but just be warned, like I will put a spoiler warning in the title of my video like I normally do. But I'm excited to get into this video, so let's do it. Oh my god guys, too, look, I have a new notebook to write my thoughts in. Like I have had the other one for like 3 years, but I bought this at Disneyland. So it says even miracles take a little time, fairy godmother, and like on the pages you have the little mouse and the fairy godmother. Like I am just obsessed. Okay, so the thing that I need to talk about though is A Curse So Dark and Lonely was my favorite book of last year. Like everything about it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. I put it above Red, White and Royal Blue, which was number 2, guys. Like seriously, it was amazing. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It's everything that I wanted. And when I heard that there was going to be a sequel and then that was turning into a trilogy, I was so excited because I thought it was going to be great. And then I found out that the next book wasn't going to be about Harper and Wren, and I was concerned. And then the reviews started coming and they are very mixed, like very mixed. And I honestly went into this book not wanting to read it because I was scared I was gonna hate it, and it honestly took me a good 200 pages before I really got invested and actually was enjoying myself. I do like Gray and Leomara's story, it is great, but coming off Harper and Wren's story, I'm sad. Okay, I am sad that they're not in this, and I do say that it wasn't as good, but the only reason is because my babes weren't in this book as much. I feel like this book as a whole would be a 5-star read, but I only gave it 4 stars because I'm just annoyed. I can be annoyed and spiteful with my rating if I want to be. So we pick up a few months after A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and Gray has been hiding ever since he's discovered that he is actually the hidden heir and Wren's older brother. Like I was a bit shooketh because I didn't actually realize that was a thing in the first book until like his chapter, and I was like, what? Like, and then it ended. So I mean, of course it was going to be about Gray, really, when you think about it from that perspective. He doesn't want to challenge Wren, he doesn't want any part of this, so he just goes into hiding because he wants everyone to think that he's dead, because he thinks it's going to be the easier option. And Leomara is the eldest daughter of Caris Lauren, and Caris Lauren is that bitch from the first book who is the queen of Shire Shallows, so we hate that bitch. Hate her. But Leomara is her daughter, and Leomara actually just wants to find peace between Amberfour and Shire Shallows. She doesn't want to do it with violence, and her mother and her sister and her whole people are all very violent, so she is very different, and you know, she's like not the same, like she has feelings. Eventually down the path of this book, Gray and Leomara cross paths and they realize that they can help each other, and the book just goes from there, and it just keeps building and building and building. So Gray, I love him, and I've loved him since the first book. He is honestly just like one of the best characters. But honestly, having this book in his perspective for at least half of it, to actually see his thoughts and feelings, was so good. And honestly, to know that he actually has feelings for Harper was a nice touch, because you know, like it wasn't really a love triangle because we always knew that Harper was going to end up with Wren, but to know that Gray actually cared about her, and he's like, I should not feel, but I felt for him, you know, because he's like, I'm a guard, I gotta be loyal and shit, but I kind of like her. I'm like, oh, poor Gray. He deserves to have an epic love story, but still, like, that attachment, I felt it for him. And honestly, Gray goes through a lot in this book, and he changes to his very core. And like, Gray is such a loyal person, and to have his trust means everything, but he's a guard. He's used to following orders and being loyal to his kingdom and his king. Like, that has been his mind frame for like a gazillion years. Why he was stuck in the bloody curse with Wren is loyalty was the only thing that got him through. And for him to find out that he is this heir and he has a claim to the throne against Ren, and he could cause a lot of damage in his kingdom if he decided to make this claim, and he just doesn't know what to do, and he would do anything for Ren. But like Ren, after being cursed, he like just lashes out with fear and violence, and he has to really come to terms with the fact that Ren might actually not be the best thing for his kingdom. So he's loyal to his king, but if his king isn't good for the people, like that's just like a hard decision for him to come to terms with. And like also because he's got magic and he's going to try and figure out how to deal with that. He's always thought with Lilith that magic was a bad thing, but like he finds out that he can like heal people and he does good with it. The magic isn't evil, the person who uses the magic is evil, and that is always the main plot point of like every magical book. But still, for him to realize that as well, a great development. And just the fact that he was so against being the prince at first, but by the end of the book he's just like, yeah, you know what? I need to do this. I need to make a stand here. I need to be a good person. And he's so concerned people aren't going to follow him because he's just a guard, but he has such a big support group around him, and there is people that I didn't expect, like Jake and Noah, to be like part of his clique, and like Tycho is so adorable, and then you've got Isaac, which is that weird creature thing, and like Liamara, like they're just, he has the support that he needs to do what he needs to do. And he's like really not a violent guy, and I mean like, yeah, he's gonna kill people if he needs to. He's not happy about it, like he does it if he needs to do it, but he doesn't do it because he wants to do it. So that's why Grey's a good person and a good leader for Emberfall, and he is just the shit. Okay, so it took me a little bit to warm to Liamara because I just didn't know who she was, and I thought she was gonna be an evil bitch. But she wasn't, but I was concerned. I feel like we all have this idea that people from Shy Shallows are total douchebags who kill everyone, and from the perspective of people in Emberfall, they're the ones that invaded and they're the ones that killed everyone, so we're not meant to like them. But then I did like her. I like Liamara. She's a very strong and independent and fun person, and like she knows how to defend herself, and she doesn't want any more unnecessary violence between the people of Emberfall and Shy Shallow because she just thinks there can be peaceful alternatives. And the only thing with her though is like she's a nicer person, but her mother and sister are so violent all the time and make so many decisions, but she doesn't really stand up towards it. Like she questions it in her mind, but she also kind of sits there being like, yeah, that's all right though, like they can do what they want to do, I'll do what I want to do. Like she doesn't try to stop it, which was a bit concerning, but eventually by the end of the book she does stand up against it and speaks out for people. But I still felt that her in the start of the book wanting peace but not questioning her mother or her sister, which did like kind of lessen my opinion of her a little bit, but it's only like a little thing because she did come out of it at the end being like a better person. But that was the only thing against her character that I was a bit annoyed about. And oh my god, Grey and Liamara's romance was just so adorable, and I've seen some reviews who say it was a bit weird that it kind of came out of nowhere, but I honestly think it developed quite beautifully and it was sweet. They come to depend on each other so much and care about each other, and like they love each other, and like how many times they nearly kissed but then it didn't happen, and Grey just like, he just really likes her, and like yeah, he liked Harper, but like Liamara is so much better for him, and they're just going to be a good unit. And like now that she is the queen of Shy Shallow, hopefully like Grey can be the king of Emberfall, but also then they'd be in separate kingdoms. So it's kind of like, my opinion is like kind of like, I hope it's like Harper and Ren, but like they do better, and then Grey and Liamara, and then like they're together. Like I don't really know how this is gonna end because stuff's happening, but I hate it when like the rulers like rule different places, and I'm like, how are you meant to be in love if you're not like near each other? And I also did find the plot of this book just to be a bit slower, like obviously because there wasn't a time sensitive curse where Ren becomes this big monster and kills everyone at the end, wasn't a thing, so we didn't really have a time limit that we were going towards here. But I still found that like it just was more about politics and about the rift between the two kingdoms, and like it was still good. There were still enjoyable parts of this book. Obviously most of it was enjoyable, it was just slower, which again isn't a bad thing. And I have to say, the saddest thing, and again the reason this book got 4 stars, is what happened to Ren's character. Like what the fuck was that? I loved him in the first book and we really came to understand him, and like yes, he was the beast and then he became the good guy. Like that is the plot of the story. They don't reverse back into a beast. This is not how this happens. But like having his chapters in the first book and we really got to understand his thoughts and feelings and knew him as a character, but coming into this book where Harper and Ren didn't have perspectives, and to see the way that Grey and Liamara received him, it was awful because they saw him as such a shitty guy, and I'm like, he is not. And I do see where he's coming from, because he's ruling through fear and trauma, and like after being in that curse for so long and trying to keep his people safe and keeping Harper safe, he will do anything, and he's just gone a little bit crazy in the head. And Noah even commented on it, saying that he's probably going through post-traumatic stress because of what happened, and he just hasn't had time to deal with it, which I like totally get. Like, I totally see where they're coming from with that perspective, and that's probably what the author wants us to think. But suddenly everyone's like, nah, he is a shitty character, we hate him, and I just don't want to completely hate him. But when he decided to whip Gray, but then also Tycho, who was just a 16-year-old boy, he went too far, and I do see it as a really bad thing, and that is the tipping point for Gray. And even though he didn't come to accept it until later in the book, he knew that the moment that he put his hands on Tycho, he was done. He was ready to take over the kingdom at that point. He just didn't realize it at the time. So I thought that was like a good development, but still, like, Ren has lost the plot. And I just hope making him like this wasn't just like a shitty ass plot device, you know, like if it was actually meant to be a good part of the story or not, or just like, oh lol, let's just make him the bad guy now, like without really much thought. But at least he is redeemed slightly for the fact that Lilith is alive. She's still kicking, mate. She is still here. And she's been around for a couple of weeks, and Ren has to do what she says or she's going to kill Harper. So he is in the same position. He's not cursed. He's not a beast, but he wants to save the woman that he loves. So he has to do everything that she says. And I honestly think, like, with Gray coming up and wanting to take over the kingdom, he's like, yeah, okay, whatever. I feel like it's probably a good idea. But because of Lilith, he can't do that. So it's ended in a way that I don't really know where this is going to go. So he is being controlled, or he actually does want it. Like, it's a bit confusing, but I'm just so sad about what happened to him. So I am so glad I finally got to this book, because it did come out at the start of the year, and I also read A Curse of Dark and Lonely for the Owls as well, and this was my first read of the Owls, but I'm just sad. Like, and as I said, if I think only about Gray and Liamara's story, it was an amazing book. I really enjoyed it. And also, as if Harper and Ren weren't characters that we knew and just Ren's the bad guy, like whatever. But because we had A Curse of Dark and Lonely that had this story, it was just very much different. Like, I could have rated this 3 stars if I wanted to, but I'm rating it 4 stars, mainly for what story I did get in this book. Not what I wanted, not what I expected, but I still did highly enjoy it. But it's just been a weird reading experience for me, honestly. But I am just glad I did get to this sequel and got to one of my anticipated reads. So this was a very hard book for me to review, but I knew I had to film a video and talk about it. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed all my thoughts and feelings. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!